So this morning, Bricks and I are headed to the big woods. Today I'm going to start by getting the wire run for shortening up my lateral lines. So I'm going to run probably probably three more wires that I'm going to hang 3/4 inch main lines off of, which is going to shorten up some of my lateral lines that are long. The name of the game here is trying to get more sap production. I know I've got some of my laterals too long, so you add more mains, you get more sap. But we'll get over there, we'll get going. So I'm here at the A1 line, and this is a spot where some of these laterals, they're over 200 foot. So, well, they're probably pushing the 200 foot mark, pretty heavy. And they're just long. So if I can get these closer to that 3 to 5, because some of them are pushing like 7. So I'm gonna run a main kind of up through the middle here and catch them about halfway. And then I'll show you how I'm gonna shorten up the lateral lines. I'm just gonna throw end hooks on and splices and be good for today and not even waste any pipe really. I'll be somewhere right in the middle here, maybe a little bit further up, that I'll catch the last 2 or 3 on all of these, which will get me closer to that 3 to 5 100-foot lateral line. Alright, so I got the wire. I think I've got the end that I need. It's always tough when you open a brand new roll of wire to figure out, make sure you're going the right way. But I got my end hook put in. Now I'm gonna run my wire out. I kind of made a trail. I went up through and looked just to make sure it was where I wanted it, but I'm heading for that big oak straight ahead. I'm going to go underneath all of the lateral lines for now. Probably except for that last one. I'm going to look back in my chronometer just to make sure that I'm coming in where I want to as far as grade. There's about 3 or 4% pitch, so that's enough that I don't have to worry too much, and I keep my laterals at kind of a easy working height. Now, like I've been doing, I'm not using gripples. I may go back to them at some point, but I just use a knot when I do mine, and that's because I can do this without having to use fittings, and they don't break. There. Just a simple figure 8 on a bite. It's a little bit easier to do it as a follow through than it is to try and do it on the bite, just because twisting 2 wires together is a little bit of a challenge. But we'll get it. Now we'll go down, tighten this up a little bit, a couple side ties, and this one will be ready. So what I'm going to do here is pull up, and I'm going to be right about there, because by the time I get a loop on here with a ratchet, it's going to be about where I want it. Ratchet goes in, then all we're doing is a square knot. So you just got to remember back to Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, whichever, and then that's how that works. And this one's just going to work it a little bit and it'll come right into shape. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's just a simple square knot. can't wait for this spool of wire to be gone because I got to the end of it and it's just clumsy and cumbersome, and I've only cut my fingers on it like 5 or 6 times anyways. Put my knot on it. Down the tree. Now I'm going to start reworking my laterals, and this one's going to be pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a splice in where the wire and the lateral come together, and then when I go back to the last tree that goes towards the old main line, I'm just going to put an end hook on it, hook it around. When I come back around later, I'll swap out those T's and drops because they're kind of due anyways, and put dead end T's on those. That way we keep our system the way we want it. So batteries are going to be the trouble today making videos because I've already gone through one and I haven't even finished up this one lateral line or one new main yet. So let's see how far we get with batteries, but I got 2 and that's it. Opened it right up to where now there's no laterals that come up to that main from the left side. They all come in off the right, so walking it's easier, but it shortened up laterals, got tap counts where they need to be, so this piece of wood should be more productive now, which really that's the name of the game here. All right, so now I'm on to like day 2 or 3 of this new main line and mainline extension project. This morning was kind of a mess trying to get orders squared away and get some evaporators taken care of that are supposed to be coming in, but we'll see if we can get them in time. I think we're going to be all set for these guys. But I've got to go pick up the main line now so that we can get it hung up on those new pieces of wire that are up, and then that will be that much closer. No, this isn't for you, it's mine. With the spooler mounted on the trailer, I don't dare go up in there with pipe on it just because it's rough and I don't want to break the thing. So just run it to the back. Come on, Bricks, go. Go. Of course, there's got to be a car coming and he wants to play in the road. But this pipe, just run it on the 4-wheeler, get it up in there, and then I'm going to start with the small roll and then the big roll. And then I brought more too if I need. I'm going to take and use this partial roll first because it actually, this one's going to be more than 500 foot and the new rolls are 500 feet. So I'm going to use the partial because I know I'm not going to have long enough, but I'm going to stretch this one all the way out and then kind of get it tied up and then go put the splice in because there's only one of me, and if I drag it with the splice with those hose clamps on there, it'll just catch, so it'll slide easier through the wood. So I'll get the plug on and then drag it all the way up and kind of get it close, and then I'll bring the other piece up. So here's where the wire connects into the wet dry. So we're gonna go right up under it. Now I've got a lot of the laterals are already hooked up, hanging off the wire. So I've got to make sure I go under everything. That way that was a slippery log. So I want all the laterals and everything to be over the main line. So even side ties, I'm just going to stay right underneath this main. What we do is I always run my mains, run the pipe past the end. And the reason for that is if I ever want to add on later, I can without having splices and everything else that are too close. So what I'm going to do is start with my double ties. I'm going to loop it through where my knot is. And when I twist, I'm actually going to pull down on it and make that pipe, well, make that wire tie bite into the pipe. So it's actually pinching in on itself. And by running double ties, they got a little bit more strength to them. Go up here and run more doubles. So we want the end to hold tight right on there. There, so I've got 4 on there. These two don't necessarily bite hard, but these two, they're tied into that figure 8 knot, so that pipe won't slip. Now, as the pipe goes down, I'm gonna go in probably every 10, 15 feet, just tie a loose tie. That way when I get ready to pull it tight, it'll slide and not get bound up on. That's the end of the partial roll, so now I'll go put a brand new roll on that. That'll give me more than enough to get up to here, and then I'll get on the other one. So just gonna do the same thing. I'm still waiting on ratchets. Those are supposed to be getting on the truck to be shipped today or Monday, so I have those in. Get this project finished up. It seems like I'm jumping around on different projects lately, but it's all kind of what fits for the time frames that I have available. I hope to have a whole day today, and then really I've got maybe half a day, because by the time I got done this morning, then I've got to pick the kids up, or well, I've got to get the kids off the bus this afternoon, so my day doesn't take long to get chewed up. It's worth it up front to spend the money on stainless steel fittings for your main lines. They don't break, they don't leak. It's a true 3/4 inch inside diameter of the fitting, so you don't get the restrictions, whereas if you run a nylon or a plastic fitting, it's not a true 3/4 inside diameter. It's a lot narrower, and then you're going to get turbulent flow, and that's freeze ups. Plus they break. So stainless steel, spend the money up front. It hurts, I get it, but you'll be happier with it in the long run. And I run all my nuts on the bottom, so if they don't, that way they don't catch the main line, or they don't catch the wire and make a divot there. So. Well, that's it for that, and then now it's just a matter of putting it up loose the rest of the way. That pipe's all up now, it's just hung loose, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on it hard and then bring it down to right in this area here. I already know that when I come onto my main line, I'm going to have a whip set up when it comes into the wet dry, I should say. So there's going to be a valve and then a Y, and it'll jump up. The dry line will go into the dry line, the wet line will go into the wet line. But so I'm going to have some play in here, so I don't need to get it perfect, but I don't want to waste a bunch of pipe either. So I'm going to pull it as close as I think as it's going to be without putting a ratchet on it today. that's how I'm gonna leave it for today. Pipe's facing down, so crud and critters can't really get into it until I can get it hooked up later. So I'll wind this pipe up back onto the spooler, head down, and I'll do the next closest one, which this roll will be close to getting that before I have to go down to the truck and get another roll. One of the biggest disadvantages of working by yourself is that you put a lot of miles on walking back and forth when you're doing main lines, because something always happens, it gets fetched up. Well, the good news for me, I'm about 20 feet from the end of this second one, and the main line's hung up down here on the spooler. So I get to come all the way down and fix it. Excellent. Note to self, when running down the road or the four-wheeler trail with the spooler on, make sure you check it before you start pulling pipe off again, because it loosened up, things moved on the pieces, and it jumped, and now I've got a kink in it. Right there. I think I can pull it out by putting some wire ties on it. This is the one advantage to running the 30P mainline pipe, is it won't create a leak like the high density will. The high density right there would be a guaranteed leak. I think I'll be good. If not, I'll put a splice in later, but I'm gonna try and get away with it for right now. So, what a pain. If I had someone watching that, it never would have happened. Now to finish this up. See, like probably less than 20 feet, like 15. Ugh. Got 2 sizes of wire ties in my pocket, and it's a pain. Where's my tool? That pocket. And beyond, even though this one will never get lengthened, but do it anyways, pull tight. That's it. I gotta match up wire tie sizes. So I may luck out because that kink is right here. I'm not far off. By the time I pull it tight, I may just cut that out later and put my valve in that spot. It'll just be a little further up, but no big deal. Wire is into this tree pretty hard, and it's because when I put the laterals on and pulled tension, it pulled it into it. So what I'm gonna do is I get this tree right here. I'm just gonna pull a side tie into it, and it'll pull it right off that, and then it'll put me right where I want to be, and it also provides stability to these to this pipe. So that didn't get it completely off. I think some of it, these laterals are just too tight, so I may loosen those up a little bit just to give it a little bit more. But I mean, it's not into that tree anywhere near as hard as it was, so we'll see. But for right now, that's it. I can't get it any tighter because of that lateral right there. Get him! Get him! You didn't bring the dog's buddy?
Nope.
He likes to play too, you know.
I know, I didn't want to get the dog another bath today.
You had to give him a bath the other day?
Oh, he stunk.
Oh, Pumpkin.